Hey YouTubers, Marko here with Marko Custom Models. Today I'm featuring something I don't normally build. This is a military model. It's a US M19 tank transporter with a soft top cab. It's made by a company called Merit, and it's a fantastic model in detail. Just a couple of things that I wanted to pass on, and I will do an update on this when it's get another step done or when I get it finished. I'm building it for a friend of mine. It's not my model. He bought this kit for about $160, and he opened up the box, and it was like, for him, was just a bit overwhelming. A lot of little pieces. To give you an example of the kind of little pieces we're talking about, is on the engine. I can show you the air compressor pump. Everything in this box here builds up, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 pieces that will end up making just the little air compressor right there that glues on the side of the engine. They could have probably molded that in one piece, but it's very highly detailed. Very highly detailed. So the whole kit is like that. Pieces of the chassis, the rear ends, it's just a lot of pieces to put it together. Another thing about this kit that I wanted to pass on to you guys is the you sort of have to build it. You know, most kits are modular, if you will. You build a body, a chassis, an interior, and you might put the pieces together. Military stuff, I know sometimes if you're doing like a tank, you'll end up painting and detailing the whole interior, gluing it together, and then having to paint the outside of it. So I get that, and this truck is a lot like that in the sense that you'd have to glue the fenders on and have them painted, and then glue, you know, these side pieces on the tanks and the photo etch, and you'd have to pre-paint a lot of pieces to put it together. And I wanted to show you, I kind of made it a little more modular so that pieces can be painted in a group and then installed. So like the front bumper, these two pieces on the side are supposed to glue onto the frame, and then you glue the bumper on. I just, being that the engine has to come out yet, it's not glued in, and the radiator has to come out because there's a little more detail that has to get done and then put back together. I didn't want to have these little wings, these little panels on there on the thing, so I put it in one piece so that it can be detailed, painted, and glued on in one assembly. And same with, well, the radiator, that's pretty self-explanatory, and rad shell, still some work to do on that. But what I did on the sides here and the cab, just take that off, is I made this in one piece so that it can be painted, detailed, and then assembled on the truck on the left and right hand side, and then the cab can go on top. There's still the photo etch. I haven't glued any of that down yet, so the photo etch pieces had to bend, and anybody who works with photo etch would know that. And same with the bottom pan. There's no, some kits will come with like a plastic option if you don't know how to work with photo etch. This panel may come in plastic and also come in photo etch, and it'll give you the choice, and obviously the photo etch will look better. But in this kit, you don't have a choice. It is just photo etch, and I had just, all these pieces fit together like this, except there's a hollow void on the end of the fuel tanks, so I had to put a piece of thin styrene in there just to make up the difference in this gap to be able to glue this together, and then also on the back to glue this back wall on. So that's what I did, and this inner piece, the inner structure, is all glued onto the fender, the headlight, all the detail. This can then be painted, the photo etch installed and painted, and just a way that I got around having to glue the each piece on as you go. As you can see, the chassis is already painted, so you can't really, I don't want to glue pieces on and then have to touch it up after. So this is kind of how I went around that. So as you can see, I made both sides, left and right, in that way. So I just wanted to pass on how I went around this problem that I found with this kit. Is it's not built in a way that you can make it modular. It is very each piece, and it's a lot like the way the actual truck would go together. But in this scale, it's really tricky to do that. So that's how I kind of went around it. When I get more done, I'll update you, and have a great day. If you like, please subscribe. Thank you.